Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to RMK Resolutions. In this lecture, we are going to discuss the concept of eutrophication, which is the important topic for the FYBSc zoology students. So, before going to start the eutrophication, let's see the pictures on your screen on the left hand side. It shows the Erie Lake. This is a very famous example of eutrophication. This is the Erie Lake in the United States of America. And this picture shows the algal blooms on the surface of the water. So now you can guess what is meant by the eutrophication. So, in case of the eutrophication for the lake as well as the eutrophication for the pond, there is a too high level of the nutrients in the water, and when there is a too much nutrients are present, then it causes the eutrophication. So this particular eutrophication, it denote the enrichment of the water body by input of organic waste containing the nutrients, especially the nitrate and phosphate. So because of nitrate and phosphate, that eutrophication takes place. So these are the two main nutrients which are responsible for the eutrophication process. Then because of the human activities also, such as the sewage or domestic waste water, they contain such kind of nutrients, and organic matter make the water rich in the nutrients. So due to the phosphate and nitrate, the water body become highly productive and eutrophic. That is called as the eutropic body or highly productive body, and that phenomenon is known as eutrophication. So try to understand the definition of the eutrophication. It is the process when the phosphate and nitrates are accumulated within a water body, and then water body become highly productive or eutropic, and that phenomenon is known as eutrophication. So many nutrients that is result from the natural disintegration of the rocks, and that particular mineralization of the organic matter, they are released into the water. So there are two types of eutrophication. First one is the natural eutrophication, and second one is the artificial eutrophication. It is also called as the cultural eutrophication. So natural eutrophication, it is the very slow process. Sometimes it takes near about 100 years also. So how natural eutrophication takes place? Because of the disintegration of the rock, because it rock contain a different nutrients. So disintegration of the rocks, then mineralization of the organic matter, and then these organic matters are discharged in, or they are going into the freshwater body. So this is the natural eutrophication. But on the other hand, there is a artificial or cultural eutrophication. Now you can see on the eutrophication process in short here on the right hand side of the screen. Here there are because of the different human activities, fertilizers or sewage or industrial wastewater, it is discharged into the freshwater body without any treatment, remember. And when all these particular things are discharged into the water body, freshwater lake or freshwater pond, then that contain the phosphate and nitrate, and that is the favorable condition for the overproduction of these algae and other phytoplanktons. And when these algae get died, then that particular algae are, they form a blooms. Now see here, these are these algal blooms. So here they form a algal blooms. So they block the sunlight. So sunlight unable to reach to the bottom of the lake. And when sunlight unable to reach to the bottom of the lake, then the fish over there or some other organisms, other zooplanktons, they get suffocate, and ultimately they have that particular lake, they having a poor aquatic life. So fish get suffocate. That is known as the eutrophication. So this is the process of the eutrophication. So as I told you, pond, lakes, and rivers during the natural eutrophication, this particular pond, lakes, and rivers during the early stage of the formation, and they relatively barren. So during the eutrophication, this particular lake, they don't have water, and when water is not there, then it does not support the aquatic life. So no fish are there. So as I told you, on your screen, left hand side, you can see the process of eutrophication. What is happening over there? See, the streams containing the excessive nutrients are drained into the water body by rain water. Then nutrients such as the nitrogen and phosphate are introduced into the water bodies. And when these nutrients, two nutrients are introduced into the water body, then it supports the growth of algae. Increase in the algal growth takes place, and that leads to the decrease in the oxygen level in the water body. So when algae are increases, then water body it decrease the oxygen, because algae, they take oxygen rapidly for their growth, so they compete for the other aquatic life such as the fish. So that's why oxygen get depleted in that particular water body, and that's why the death of aquatic plants takes place, and their decomposition further deplete the oxygen. And when aquatic plants get died, then their decomposition takes place by the bacteria. So bacteria or microorganisms, they are again using the oxygen, and when oxygen is using by the microorganism for the decomposition, then again oxygen level get decreases, and eventually the death of aquatic organism takes place due to the insufficient oxygen, and whole ecosystem get disturbed. So that process is known as eutrophication. So as I told you, there are two types of eutrophication. On the right hand side of your screen, it shows the natural eutrophication, where, see here, natural eutrophication takes place by the mineralization of the organic matter, then disintegration of the rocks. So all these particular phosphate, nitrate, and other nutrients, they are sedimented over there, and it takes centuries, it takes near about 100 years it takes place, and all these nutrients are sedimented over there. So this particular lake, it get barren, and when it get barren, then it does not support the aquatic life. This process is known as natural eutrophication. So on the left hand side of your screen, you can see the comparison between natural eutrophication and cultural eutrophication. So natural eutrophication, as I already told you, this is a process that occurs as a lake or river ages over the period of hundred or thousands of the years. So it is very slow process. Whereas Cultural eutrophication. It is also known as the artificial eutrophication. This is eutrophication. This particular eutrophication is because of the human or man-made activities. Different industrial waste material or different sewage water that is discharged into the river or lake, and that process is relatively fast because of the humans. They release the excessive amount of nutrients, and that nutrients or that particular wastewater, industrial wastewater, is discharged into the river without any treatment, and that's why again eutrophication process get faster. Again, on the right hand side of your screen, it explains the cultural eutrophication. As I told you, this is the sort of eutrophication that caused by the human activities. So it is the rapid process. It takes place. It is only takes place in a decades to the century. So it takes a less time, and ultimately it pollutes the water. So much more alarming than the natural ecosystem, natural eutrophication. So it's process that speed up the natural eutrophication process. So the conclusion of this particular slide: cultural eutrophication, because of the human made activity, it speed up the process of natural eutrophication, and this is the alarming situation for the human beings. So as I told you, there are two types of eutrophication: natural eutrophication and cultural eutrophication. So I already explained this particular eutrophication. So just try to understand, in the eutrophication, oxygen get depleted, and when oxygen get depleted, then there is no support for the life. All fish and other zooplanktons, they get died. So as I told you, the example of the eutrophication. This is an excellent example of the eutrophication. This is a man-made eutrophication. This is the Lake Erie, which is present in the USA. So in the 1965, more than 80 tons of phosphates were added daily in this particular lake. So it encouraged the formation of algal blooms. So eutrophication, they having a adverse effect on the life which is present in that particular pond, adverse effect on the fisheries. So in short, eutrophication, this is the process where the algal blooms or algal growth takes place on the surface of the water. That's why, first of all, sunlight is not passing, and when algae grow over there, then they utilize the oxygen, and when oxygens are utilized fastly, then there is a less amount of oxygen present over there. And when this particular algae get died, again that algae are decomposed by the different bacteria, and again oxygen utilization takes place. So the oxygen utilization continues in the eutrophication process, and when there is a large amount of oxygens are utilized, then oxygen get depleted, oxygen level get decreases, and when oxygen level get decreases, then that water body does not support the life. So ultimately fish or other zooplanktons, they get suffocate, and this process is known as eutrophication. So because of the eutrophication, there is a chance to lose the biodiversity. Different important zooplanktons, which are the important part of food chain, they may get lost. So yeah, this is the alarming situation, as I told you. So if food chain get disturbed, then everyone is affected, including the human beings. That's why it is very important to understand the concept of eutrophication. Okay, so that's it for this lecture. So thank you so much for watching this video. So please like, share, and subscribe RMK Resolutions, and hit the bell icon for more update. Thank you. Bye bye.